Mitt Romney, said Mildred's plan would hurt the economy and kill jobs. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Turns out his man was just a bad business, isn't it? Because by the end of President Clinton's second term, America created 23 million new jobs, and incomes were up, and poverty was down, and the deficit had become the biggest surplus in history. So, New Hampshire, we know our ideas work. We tried, and they worked. They worked for middle-class families. They created strong and sturdy ladders into the middle class for everyone who's willing to carry out their responsibilities. Now, just like we tried our ideas, the other side, they tried their ideas. We gave those a shot after Trump went left. We had 8 years to test their ideas, to test Governor Romney's ideas. But most of the last decade, we tried giving big tax cuts to the
Presidente Barack Obama percorreu 8
We
estados
tried
por semana.
letting insurance companies, car companies, Wall Street do whatever they please, give them free licenses. And what do we get? Falling incomes, record deficits, the slowest job growth in half a century, and an economic crisis that we've been cleaning up after ever since. So let me get this straight. We tried our ideas, they worked. Middle class grew, America prospered, deficits became surplus. We tried their ideas. Incomes went down, deficits blew up, massive financial crisis was still fleeting. Now this poses a dilemma for Governor Romney. But he's a very talented salesman. And in this campaign, he is trying as hard as he can to repackage the same old ideas and pretend they're new. In fact, he's offering them up as change. Says he's the candidate of change. Now, let me just say this. We know what change looks like. And when he's selling it, giving more power rights to these things, that's not change. Another $5 trillion tax cut that favors the wealthy, not change. Refusing to answer questions about the details of your policies until after the election's over, that's definitely not change. That's the oldest trick in the book. Ruling out compromise, pledging to rubber stamp the Tea Party's agenda in Congress, not change. Changing the facts when they're inconvenient to your campaign, that's not change. At least not the kind of change you want out of your president. New Hampshire, after 4 years as president, you know me. Part of this election is not just about policy. It's also about who you trust. You know? The fact is, what you know about me is I mean what I say and I say what I mean. I said I had more around my end. I said I'd pass health care reform. I passed it. I said I would repeal. Don't ask, don't tell. We're repealing. I said I'd expand opportunity for young people to go to college. That's exactly what we did. You may not agree with every policy I put forth. There have been times where I believe Michelle doesn't agree with everything. You may be frustrated sometimes with the pace of change. I'm frustrated too sometimes. But you know where I stand. You know what I believe. You know I tell the truth. And you know that I will fight for you and your families every single day as hard as I know how. So when you ask yourself the question, who's going to fight for me and bring about real change? You know that I know what real change looks like. Because I've fought for it alongside you. I've got the scars to prove. I've got the gray hair to show for it. After all we've been through together, we can't give up now. So let me tell you the change we need for the next 4 years. Change this country where every American has a shot at a good education. Every kid go to home, parents have to parent, students students, you have to study. But don't tell me hiring more quality teachers won't help this economy grow. Don't tell me that the students who can't afford college should have more money from their parents. That wasn't an option for me, Bill Clinton, or Michelle, or a whole bunch of you. That's why I want to cut the growth of tuition in half over the next 10 years. That's why I want to recruit 100,000 new math and science teachers so our country doesn't fall behind. I want to train 2 million Americans from community colleges with the skills that businesses are hiring for right now. That's what changes. That's what we're waiting for this election. That's what we're waiting for. Change comes when we live up to this country's legacy of innovation. You know, I couldn't be prouder that I bet on American workers, American ingenuity, and the American auto industry. But what makes me really proud is we're not just building cars again, we're building better cars. Cars that by the middle of the next decade will go twice as far in a gallon gas. But we don't have to just stop with cars. America's always been about innovation. Advanced manufacturing, making stuff. There are thousands of workers around the country right now building long-lasting batteries and wind turbines. I want to make sure we're supporting the industries in manufacturing in the future. I don't want to tax those and subsidize the coal company profits when they're making money hand over fist. I want to support the energy jobs of tomorrow. I want to support the new technologies that will help us cut all the imports in half. I don't want to tax those rewarding companies that are shipping jobs overseas. I want to reward companies that will create the next generation of manufacturing right here. Change is turning the page on the decade of war, so we can do some nation building here at home. But as long as I'm Commander-in-Chief, we will pursue our enemies relentlessly with the strongest military the world's ever known. But it's time to use some of the savings from many wars of Iraq and winding down the war in Afghanistan to pay down our debt. Rebuild America. We can right now put workers back to work, repairing roads and bridges, make sure our schools are state-of-the-art, laying broadband lines in the rural communities. And we can hire our veterans when they come home, because if you fought for freedom, if you fought for this country, you should have to fight for a job or That's how we keep America strong. That's what's at stake in this election. Change is reducing our deficit in a balanced, responsible way. You know, a lot of folks talk about deficit reduction, you know, as a political tool, but when it comes down to it, we've got to make choices. We've got to make choices. These priorities reflect our values. Now, I've cut $1 trillion worth of spending that we didn't need, and I'm willing to do more. But just as we did when Bill Clinton was president, we've got to ask the lawmakers to pay a little bit more so we can reduce the deficit and still invest in the things we need to grow. I will not turn Medicare into a voucher just to give millionaires another tax cut. I'm not going to make college more expensive for young people just to give me a tax cut. I don't need it. I don't want it. Because I believe America will be stronger if we're helping the next generation succeed. So that's what changes. We know what the future requires, and we know it won't be easy. You know, back in 2008, I spent a lot of time here in New Hampshire. I know you guys, you saw a lot of it. And back then we talked about change, we can believe it. And when I said to people, you know, I'm not just talking about changing parties or changing presidents. I'm talking about changing how our politics works. I ran because the voices of the American people, your voices, all of them, folks way in the back. Your voices that can shut out our democracy and waste the world. My lobbyists, special interests, and politicians. their women. I love that. When we come to ask for middle-class families and small businesses, we got Republican help. When we came together to repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell, we had some courageous Republican senators who supported it. As long as I'm president, I will work with anybody of any party to move this country forward. And if you want to break the gridlock in Congress, you'll vote for leaders who feel the same way. Whether they're Democrats or Republicans or Independents, folks like John Lynch, folks like Dean Lee, you'll vote for candidates like Andy Custer, Carol Shea Porter, and Randy Hudson. Because we're focused on you, not on politics in the next election. Your government sets a great example of that. But you also got to have principles. You got to have something to stand for. And if the price of peace in Washington is cutting deals to kick students off of financial aid and get rid of money from Planned Parenthood, or let insurance companies go back to discriminating against people with pre-existing conditions, or eliminate millions of people on Medicaid who rely on it for their health care, the poor, the disabled, the elderly, that's not a deal I'm willing to take. That's not the price I'm willing to pay. That's not bipartisanship, and it's certainly not change. That is surrender to the same status quo that has squeezed middle-class families for way too long. And New Hampshire, I'm here today because I'm not ready to give up on the fight. I know I'm a little older, but I got a lot of fight left in me. I'm always